Hi, this is Aaliyah, and this is my video for the 5.3 assignment, the Counselor Professional Impact Video Reflection. So I think that a counselor's personal and family history of substance abuse, addiction, or behavioral health issues can be positive in a way because it can bring a unique approach to counseling addicts, as it can give a distinctive perspective because they can relate to what's going on, and they've seen it before, they've had personal experience with it, they can connect on a deeper level of understanding, and there's also likely to be like less judgment, so there's going to be less use of like the moral model and more use of the medical model instead. And there's also the possibility that, like, because they have a personal history with substance abuse or addiction, that they might experience lesser degrees of burnout compared to non-user counselors because they've previously been exposed to it. But so those are the positive aspects, but also the negative aspects include there could be challenges dealing with addicts, which can lead to relapse, including burnout. They have proximity to substances and those who use, which may trigger cravings. And counselors can form attachments to those who remind them of themselves. So they need to remain aware and keep strict of their boundaries. And they also need to be mindful not to project their own experiences into making assumptions about the client, which can lead to unethical practices. So the two things that would come with projection is countertransference issues and self-disclosure. They need to make sure to not over-disclose because then it becomes less of like a counselee relationship and more of just like a friend relationship. We're just kind of blurring boundaries. So yeah, they need to have like regular supervision to be able to talk about what's happening, so to make sure that they are able to like check with themselves and stay self-aware as to what's going on. And so when it comes to like post-secondary trauma and burnout, as they navigate through the profession of addiction, if they're unaware of the burnout, it can lead to a lack of counselor competence, which can be detrimental to both the counselor and the client. So counselors need to stay on top of that for sure. And things that can help lower the impact of stress and trauma and wellness issues, because a lot of people who are counselors within the addiction profession kind of suffer from like poor working conditions and a lack of resources and a lack of funding. As I saw I worked for community housing, and a lot of the counselors and workers that were there, the environment was terrible, and they didn't provide any resources for the employees. So that all the employees were constantly burnt out, which meant a high turnover rate, which meant that the substance users who lived there were like afraid to get attached to anyone because as soon as they got attached to someone, the person would quit. So it was just a whole vicious cycle. But coping strategies that can help can be something just as simple as taking up healthy hobbies to take their mind off things, going to therapy themselves and taking time to process what they're going through at work, or leaning on their support system as much as possible. Thank you.